Steel boots stomping, crashing the floor. Two wild yinzers kicking through the door. Loud like a jag off at a pins game fight. Brace yourself, this ride ain't polite. Two dumb yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Tales from the burg with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew.
You know, we got a really awesome song to kick off the show. But I cannot get that Mike Scarlett song out of my head. I just wonder how many people throughout the course of the day catch themselves humming or singing the Mike Scarlett song. Mike Scarlett shining brighter than the sun. Speedo's hugging tight like he's ready to run. I just can't. It's Finch texted as soon as the show was over yesterday. He's like, that is my new favorite song.
He loved it. He loved that song. I think a lot of people love that song.
It's a good song. Good morning, Jen on the board. Good morning. Good Friday morning it is. Ah, man. Good morning to John. The big John Stud. Middle name Mud on the board. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. It is episode 736 of the Two Dumb Yinzers. Good morning. Welcome back, everybody. A couple things before we do get started, Mike. The Phantom's Revenge at Kennywood in Pittsburgh was voted the best roller coaster in the entire country.
What?
Yes, the best in the entire country.
Wow.
So say what you will. You got something going on here. It isn't between the lines with whistles, but we have something going on.
We got that going for us, which is nice.
So the Phantom's Revenge, of course, it was the Steel Phantom when we were younger.
Yes.
And they shut it down briefly and opened it back up as the Phantom's Revenge. And of course, it is the best in the country, which is pretty awesome because I haven't been to, I don't want to say many, I haven't been to any amusement parks across the country. So if they say the one that I actually been on is the best, I'm cool with that.
Right? You take it, man. I believe it.
Because I don't have to see any other ones because it's the best.
It's the best. You're done.
I'm done. I retired. I retired from the roller coaster riding business.
Retired from the roller coaster riding business.
Yeah, you know. I wish Derpy was here today because I wanted to ask him about this new Fred. I don't know if you've seen this. It's like one of these streaming shows that's come out in October. It's Freddy Krueger's younger years, but it's like Rob Zombie and a couple other people are writing it. It's one of those 10 show series.
Oh, okay.
And you know, they do with Dahmer and you know, these other kind of streaming shows. I would be very interested to see that because you always heard that backstory of Freddy Krueger and with Rob Zombie, I'm sure it's going to be cool and gory and all that stuff. So I wanted to see if he heard anything about this. But apparently that's supposed to be October. It's called Fred. Fred.
I thought you know they were remaking Drop Dead Fred for a minute.
And they may do that as well, but that I don't know about. Good morning to Caleb on the board. Caleb says he thinks that the quarterback is going to be Jim Beam next season.
That's going to be my quarterback.
Of course, for the early birds catching the worm, there is a poll this morning on the board. This is asking who do you think is going to be the Steeler quarterback to start the season off here? And about 3.5 months, 100 and some days. It's going to be here before we know it. And the choices on there are Aaron Rodgers, Kirk Cousins, Mason Rudolph, and Howard or other. So if you get time, take a second to take a pick and see who you think is going to be the starting quarterback when the season starts. I'm not going to say, but I'm going to make my pick. I you know what? I'll wait because if it pops up now, then people knows me. Yeah. So I'll anonymously make my pick throughout the course of the show on the poll. We'll see what we get. Jen says, is the poll who we think or who we want? I think it'll be Rodgers, but I will cry. Who you think? Who do you think it's going to be? Jen agree. As soon as Rodgers signs, the media stuff will start. We'll talk a little bit more about this today, guys, because I'm seeing a little bit more of an pickup in the talk of Aaron Rodgers, but I don't know. I'm still a little thrown off by everything that's going on with Aaron Rodgers. I'm not real sure. And again, we could be beating this over and over and over, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
And meanwhile, they could have the answer right, already ahead of them and in front of them. So we will get more into that in a little bit. Mark Malone, he's counting on that big Mason Rudolph.
He is too, man.
Season, man. He's really optimistic about the Mason Rudolph's playing. Caleb says my maintenance person is a half hour late, and my Jim Palmer poster wants to smoke weed.
Who's being annoying, the maintenance worker or the Jim Palmer poster?
Definitely the maintenance worker,
right? You got to get there, get the shit done, man. We got to get. Jim Palmer needs to get his mind right.
That's right. A few other things here before we do get started. Mike, did you see John Elway's former agent / business partner dies in a golf cart accident?
Yeah, and was not John Elway the driver of that?
I think that he was.
That would like suck. No, like your agent, your business partner, a friend dies, but you were the cause of it.
Right.
That would suck.
It's all about the Illuminati sacrifice, I guess.
I guess so, man. So when I get initiated, Ryan, Godspeed. I'm sorry, but you got to go.
I already talked to them, and they're avoiding you. I'm going to be honest. they caught me outside the Rite Aid. I was coming out, and they pulled up in a white van.
Oh, they already got you.
I'm getting tired of this no power BS. Caleb says, I know this isn't a Pittsburgh story or an NFL story.
Ooh, no, I'm waiting with bated breath. Yeah, Mark Malone, that's got to suck. Oh.
What's that?
Like not having power. He's on day 3 of no power.
Oh, geez. That's insane. What do you do for 3 days with no power?
Watch the 2 dumb yingers.
That's right.
My man ain't got no
That's
power.
That's the smartest thing I heard Mike say all year.
Fuck yeah, baby. I'll take it. A win is a win.
But we welcome everybody back. Good morning. Mark Malone is still feeling the 4,200 yards, 35 touchdowns this season. Caleb says, but did y'all hear about the NBA player and his wife who accused the NBA of cloning him? No. The NBA bores me. I'm going to be honest.
That is awesome.
What is awesome?
That that's an NBA player thinks that the NBA is trying to clone him,
and that's awesome. How?
It's just awesome. I find it a great story. I find it funny. I want to dig down this rabbit hole after I get off the show.
No, I didn't hear anything about it. You know what? I see. The thing is, I follow shit like this, so that's not interesting to me. Like everybody's cloned in my world.
See, I don't. So this is interesting to me. Now my interest is piqued.
Yeah, this is always like this is the kind of stuff I look up and I watch these videos. It's always how Hollywood is cloned and the Illuminati and all this stuff. So I mean, I don't know. To me, it just sounds like another NBA player. But you know what? Who knows? I've seen people say that they are cloning kids in Disney to make these Disney kids. And again, so at this point, I don't know. In my head, I don't know who's real and who isn't real at this point. But in the normal person's head, that might be a really interesting story.
I like how in a normal person's head, you might be the normal one. I might be the one who's not normal.
I would agree with that. And that's what the Illuminati guy said, too. He said, tell Mike he's the one that's not normal. Caleb says,
okay.
What's that?
It's the wife of the player. Okay.
The wife is the clone?
No, the wife is accusing the
Well,
NBA
yeah, that's
clone.
what you would think. Who else would she be accusing?
No,
who else would be getting accused in this particular story we're talking about?
I don't know.
All right, then.
Fred, I got hyped up. I saw this cool story, and my mind started to wander.
Ryan was Rite Aid buying varicose vein stocks. I don't know. You know what? I think all the Rite Aids are shut down. It's an empty building in my town.
In my town too.
And that's how I got. That's where they met me. They trapped me. Well, I got to watch for the white van, guys. Also, what else, Mike? I do have Cinco de Mayo is Monday. Monday is Cinco de Mayo. When we come back, we'll be celebrating Cinco de Mayo. in our own
I
kind of way.
I
Here
will
on the
have a
Good Onions.
margarita. I will have a margarita ready for Cinco de Mayo.
And finally, before we do get started, Mike, I wanted to just kind of clear this up a little bit more. I spoke about yesterday the the point how they're closing down for the year to renovate and get ready for the draft next year. I mean, this is kind of a big story because again, a lot of people go downtown. They have the regatta, they have all that river
Yeah, yeah.
shit, and then there's just people that plenty of things go down
Mm-hmm.
down there at the fountain. I just want to pull this up if I could find it, Mike, because I do have a little a public note here. Point State Park is the next item to be improved for the NFL draft next year. The city announced that the 50-year-old fountain will not spray this summer in order to upgrade lights along the conduit, wiring, and controls in the pump house. Additionally, PSP is undergoing a 3.4 upgrade, which will cancel all events this summer, including July 4th festivities, Mike. So
Oh, wow.
that's what I'm saying. That's the big thing. I mean, if it wasn't for the draft, this wouldn't be happening.
No.
And I assume that the rest of Pittsburgh is going to be an absolute insane madhouse all the way up until then. Because again, if this is what the Point's doing, everybody's going to be preparing for the big draft. Again, Mike, more people in Green Bay was at the draft on night one that actually reside in Green Bay.
Yeah, it's going to be a madhouse, dude. And people who aren't from Pittsburgh, that just look up, get on Google Earth, and look at the surrounding area. Look at the area of Pittsburgh. Look how it's laid out. Look at the roads. Good luck navigating that. Good luck trying to fit 250,000 people in that small little area. Good luck, Godspeed. It ain't gonna happen. It's gonna be a logistical nightmare. And Ryan and I will be sitting here at the studio watching it unfold.
Yeah, we'll send. We're gonna send
We'll send in Derpy.
Yeah,
Definitely send in Derpy.
He's the one that talks all this shit. I'll go down. I'll do this.
I'll go. Well, we'll send them. We'll send them. I'm worried though. Derpy might get abducted though.
No, we ain't that lucky. Mike, I also, as we do get started here, I do want to talk about the gentleman that did jump down on the football field or the baseball field the other day. Apparently, he didn't fall. It was or jump. It was a fall. I do have a couple letters here. One thing is one I got from Finch. We got from Finch yesterday after the show, and this was somebody that was at the game. This is what they saw.
Yeah.
This was a person named Golden Brown _ Pittsburgh. I was sitting 5 rows behind him. He was drunk. Inning before, he ripped his shirt off and poured half a beer all over himself. He jumped up from his seat when the Pirates got the hit. He jumped back. He jumped up so quick while being drunk, he literally propelled himself off the ledge. He didn't do it on purpose, and no one pushed him. He was there with his girlfriend, a friend, and another lady. The friend ran to the lower deck in center field and jumped on the field to run to his aid. And then also there was the identity of the guy did get revealed last night. We do know the person that did fall. And now that information has been released, Mike, I do want to talk about that for just a moment here. He is a 20-year-old graduate out of South Allegheny High School. Again, I mean, we're just discussing the topic. No disrespect to the young man. He is in critical condition still. But Mike, this guy, he is 20 years old. He was a graduate from South Allegheny, twice earning first-team All-American honors for football. He was a linebacker. Not only an outstanding athlete, exceptional. My thing is this: he was 20. How is he so loaded?
Exactly.
I mean, is that something that they should be thinking about? The family and the friends? And I mean, okay. Listen, you didn't fall and skim your knee. You fell, onto the playing field, possibly on your head, from what I could see. I mean, it wasn't a good fall. Again, still in critical condition. I would be awfully concerned if I was the people that was giving him alcohol.
Yeah, like if he's going to the concession stand and buying it from one of the vendors, that's on, part of it's on the team, on the facility, on the people giving him the alcohol. But no, if his friends and family are going up and buying it for him and giving to him, that's not on the organization or any of the vendors. That's on that family. And they, I'm not to sound cold-hearted, But I have zero empathy, zero sympathy. I have been uber loaded in my life, but I've never done something to where I'm practically going to kill myself. You still have to take your responsibility for your own actions, whether you're drunk or not, because you yourself, your actions led you to do this by drinking, getting loaded, and not having the mental faculties to function in public, in a public setting. That's the thing too. You're out drunk in public at a ball game. Yeah, have a couple drinks, have fun, watch the game. But if you're getting so annihilated that you can't stand up properly and hurt yourself, I'm sorry. I have zero sympathy, zero empathy.
Hey, listen, I understand all that.
Shit happens. Shit happens.
I get it.
I feel
Listen,
like I want to say I feel bad, but I don't. If that makes me an asshole, makes me an asshole. I do not care. But my God,
listen, I mean,
man,
the guy's hurt. That's ultimately at this point. I mean, that's what's important. Get the guy better. I mean, you don't want anybody to die. But at the end of the day, somebody. And again, it's going to come down to the family because if it was girlfriend or friend or friend's
yeah.
friend, they're probably not. You know what I mean? Who knows? Who knows what the situation may be? But if the vendors are selling beer to these kids, and I mean, the dude's 20. There's
Yep.
unless again, on the other hand, I mean, I've been to games under 21 years old where you just drank heavily in the parking lot and went in and enjoyed yourself. So I mean, it could be any number of things. We don't want to assume right now. Again, the information is still coming out. But at the end of the day, you just get better, dude. I mean, come on, you don't want to see any. I mean, especially he's a home guy. He went to see his team and got a little excited. And I got to be honest, I've never seen anything like it. Is the post said he propelled the dude, jumped up and just kept going. Like gravity didn't matter anymore. And and again, not making light of the situation, but it could get really ugly. And here's the thing: if it comes back on the Pirates. And a lawsuit comes.
Bob Nutting has to sell the team. We're building a statue to the fallen guy.
Yeah.
I'm fundraising for that. Immediately. Sue the Pirates, my guy. Sue the Pirates, please.
Yeah.
Please sue the Pirates.
Because if in fact they do sue, I mean, like I said, Mike, they've already got these notches on them, against them this season.
Yeah.
with all the dumb stuff. And like I said, to me, it started 33 years ago. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But recently it started after they cut Rowdy Tellez and didn't give him his bonus because he was 4 at bat short. At that point, Mike, that was when they pissed me off for good. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be hard to overcome. Yeah. Again, Mike, not turning around. Aroldis Chapman was waiting by the phone for a phone call from the Pirates. The Pirates wouldn't call the best. Come on. This guy's the only reason that the bullpen was any good last year. And they let him go. And then you start the season and all those things that we talk about every day, day in, day out, they pop up and it's adding up. And Mike, and like I said, a big lawsuit like this for the Pirates.
Oh, yeah.
That could be a big blow. It's Mike, they're 1 month in.
Yeah.
And look at all the, it certainly hasn't been uneventful so far.
No, it has not. And you know what? You swung me back to now I'm on this dude's side. Sue the Buccos, get Bob Nutting out of there. I'm team falling guy now.
Well, I mean, the thing is, at the end of the day, he's a person like we are. And we've all been drunk. And we've all done stupid things. And I've heard stories of you falling out of the swimming pool or something crazy when you were drinking. Shit happens.
I slipped down the steps.
But the fact of the matter is, if it's his fault, it's his fault. But if it's not his fault,
it's not his fault. It's not his fault, and get top dog law.
Yeah. So whatever this guy decides to do, again, even if he's okay, that's first case, I guess you got to start with. Start right here with Mark Malone. Well, could anyone sit through one of those games? No, they can't. I haven't sat at a Pirate game sober in 25 years. Easy. Maybe longer. Mark Malone says, I mean, good God, he should sue the Pirates. John, the Top Dog Law, yes.
TopDogLaw.com.
Mark Malone says, yep, legit case there. Nobody could watch that in a sober person. And they're what do? You put another fence up? I mean, and the thing is, I mean, it upsets you because again, you're just going to take another thing away from being close to the players. That's something that baseball is. You're down by the field, the guys run over, they catch fear. You're competing to catch foul balls with them. So you just got to you're going to keep separating the players and the fans because of one incident, one isolated incident. Again, it's a bad incident, but it's just ugly the whole way around. again, at the end of the day, if you got to, that's what you got to do. You got to do what's right. So hopefully everything works out for the young man. Again, 20 years old, pretty rough way to start adulthood. No two ways about that. Why was Rowdy Tellez considered an MVP level 1 first base? Well, you know what? Because he's a Pirate. Pirate good isn't the same as good.
Yeah.
There's good, and then there's pirate good. You know how some people say, a chick in LA, a hot chick in Pittsburgh is a 4 in LA, and she's a 10 in Pittsburgh. It's kind of like that. People that know good baseball, they have the good players.
Dude,
we have the Pittsburgh 10s.
Yeah, last year people were talking themselves into Rowdy Tellez should stay in the lineup. And people now want to run poor Tommy Pham out of town, and like they have the exact same numbers. That just shows how being fat, goofy, and lovable can endear you to the minds of the Yinzer Nation.
Go ahead, Mike. You get it, girl. I know,
right? I was there.
If anybody knows this, it's you.
It's this guy right here, baby. I was setting you up too, man.
Caleb also says one thing to consider: what does the type of environment do the schemes develop? But you know what, guys? That's a great question, because this is a bad environment. Listen, they've had 4 seasons over 500 in 33 years. 3 of them they made the playoffs. 4, and that means 29 of the last 33 years they've been under 500. That's seriously like. Of course, the development's terrible. And Mike, here's my question: does Derek Shelton get canned this year? I know I asked you earlier, but now it's 2 weeks later, and more things have happened. I think that I think that they're going to be put in a position where it's going to be like, well, if we don't fire him, we're going to look like we're doing nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he eventually gets canned. I say it happens in the next month.
Ooh, wow!
Especially after the Mike Sullivan news in town.
Yeah,
getting canned from the obviously separating ways. Who is now the new Rangers head coach?
Yes.
But Mike,
man,
could that start the trend in Pittsburgh? Could Derek Shelton be the next to go? And if not, why not?
Why not? Easy, why not? He's cheap and he works here, and Bob Nutting's cheap and doesn't want to pay extra salary. And that's the only reason I can see Shelton not getting fired is because he signed that contract extension, and I forget how long it goes through. And Bob Nutting does not like to pay people if they're not here. He doesn't even like to pay them if they are here. So, God, I'd love to see him gone because this team needs a new manager. I think with a decent manager, someone who has a decent baseball mind, this team could be a 500 ball club. You can see they have
at least once every 5 years would be nice.
Yeah, But you can see this team has talent, man.
What about the team like the Marlins, who has no fans ever, and every 7 years they put a World Series team on the field?
Yeah.
At least follow that. Do something that's going to get you something. They literally do less than that. I just don't get how the Marlins, who have nobody show up at that game, manages to put together a team that could go to the World Series every 7, 8 years, give or take. And then there's the Pirates, 4 seasons over 500 in the last 33 years.
Yeah,
come on. That's why people are frustrated. And like, finally, here in 2025, they are taking action. They are staying home. They're not going down and spending their money. Don't get me wrong, it's a great time. It's a fantastic time.
Yeah,
going down to the PNC Park to watch baseball. As a matter of fact, there's not much else like it. But I simply refuse, Mike. I can't keep putting into this. I can't.
No, it's just a shitty run organization. It's terrible, and yeah, like Derek Shelton's been around the game of baseball his entire life, and he has zero baseball sense. I don't get it. Like, I have zero baseball.
I don't understand.
And I think I can put out a better lineup. I think I can put out a better lineup.
I don't think you can. And why I'm saying that, not putting you down, but Mike, I don't think it takes a whole lot of sense to manage a baseball team. No. You take your best 9 players.
You put them out there.
And you put them out there. You put your fastest guy leading off. You put your best here in the on the 4th spot. I mean, this really isn't rocket science. How some guys manage to be successful no matter wherever they go, and there's other guys that just cannot pull it together. Again, what else is there? Maybe I don't know. What else is there? You put the best 9 guys out there, and sometimes they win, sometimes they don't. But the law of average says that this is way off because 4 winning seasons in 33 years it's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's bad. Like I know, like last year's team, this year's team doesn't have a lot of. There's guys on there who should be in the minors, but you also have a lot of guys that if you knew how to use them, this team would be pretty good. Well, pretty good. They would be an average ball club. Especially with the pitching that we have, this team should be hovering around 500.
And one more thing to consider, Mike. There's only 5 years left on the PNC Park lease.
Yeah,
that puts the park at 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, Three River Stadium was only 30 years when they took it down.
Yeah,
1970 to 2000. Here, this is going to be 30 years for PNC Park. What is he going to do? Kick the can down the road to 2030 and then build a new stadium and sell that again for 15 years, 20 years? It's terrible what's happening here. It's terrible. And the fact that, as I said, Mike, he came out last year and said with his own voice, I'm going to give Ben Cherington a blank check to make this better. They literally got nothing. They got nothing in the meantime. That's why this, amongst all the reasons, is why I'm pissed at this team. Skeens isn't producing like last year. Also, John says, no, he's not. He's not. And you kind of had to expect a little bit of a drop, of course.
Yeah.
Now that people have scouting reports on him and people got video and film and they played against him. But, as I read this morning, we couldn't have thought that he was going to have a 1.09 ERA his whole career. Every night in, night out that he pitches, he faces, great hitters. They're major league hitters. But you're right. That certainly isn't helping either. Caleb says, guys, I look at managers looking for a job. I have bad news. Chuck Tanner is dead.
You know what? He might still be better than
Derek Shelton. I think an exhumed Chuck Tanner would be better than a living Derek Shelton. No two ways about it.
Pops is apparently available now. He's not going to coach the Spurs. We can bring him here. I don't know what that's going to do for his health, but man. Oh, this fucking team.
With that being said, Mike, now before I do move on, as I promised, I have to report on the Pirates from yesterday.
Time for the Bucko report.
Bucko report. Here we go. The Pirates were back in action yesterday. They take a loss to the Cubbies, 8-3. The Pirates dropped to 20-12 on the season. Skeens goes 5 innings, gives up 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 4 walks, and 2 strikeouts. Brian Reynolds does hit a home run. Cruz, Reynolds, Valdez, Canero, and Davis all finished with 1 hit. Mike, not only did Skeens not have a good day pitching, but Stratton comes in later, where usually David Bednar or Holderman come in and screw up. Stratton comes in, and he gives up 3 runs in 1 inning.
Yeah,
I can't imagine why you would have brought back Aroldis Chapman. It just it makes no sense, Mike.
It makes zero sense. He, at least if he's going in there and he gives this stuff up, at least you have a sense of hope of him still having that fastball. He has lost movement, but it's still an effective.
It's still,
fastball.
Mike. He threw 2 pitches in a row last year, 105 miles an hour. I'll take that any day
over these 3 idiots that we have there. Yeah, and speaking of Paul Skeens, his people are talking about him online, like, oh, how can you say this? They're showing the stats from last year and this year. They're not off a whole lot, but you look at the actual pitches, they're not that big. They're not. He doesn't look as sharp as he did last year. There's just something with his pitches, they don't feel right. And for any member of the Pittsburgh media or any Pirate fan that is crying that people are actually criticizing or analyzing Paul Skeens, can I have a list of Pittsburgh athletes I'm allowed to be critical of, please? For the love of God, I want to know who I'm allowed to critique a performance of. But anyway, yes, Ryan, this Bucko team is atrocious. Management up and down. I'd still take 95-year-old Aroldis Chapman in my bullpen.
You know what? And that's just another fumble by this Pittsburgh Pirates team. Mike, again, these are people that know baseball. These are the people. Like we said, what does it take to manage a team, putting the top 9 guys in the lineup? What does it take to manage to be a GM, bring people in who are decent? Aroldis Chapman, at this point in his age, in his career, You're going to get away with not paying him a lot of money, and he's still going to come down here and throw 105-mile-per-hour fastballs for you and strike a lot of people out. In my brain, that's a common sense move. Let this guy finish out his last 2 years in Pittsburgh. Pay him some money. You're going to have a lot of help on the back end of your your bullpen. It just makes no sense to me, man. He's in Boston now. He says he waited by the phone. He expected a phone call from us. We refused. And the Pirates, again, just another thing that they do that's is Pittsburgh Pirates as could possibly be. Mike, they are back in action today, starting a new weekend series against the Padres. The Padres come in with a 19-11 record, while the Pirates come in with a 12-20 record. That game is at 6:40 today, and you can watch it wherever you are because that game is also on Apple TV Plus. So that game will be streaming. You can check out the Pirates and the Padres. It will be a Mitch Keller start, Mike. He's going to come in with a 1-2 record, a 3.97 ERA, and 26 strikeouts, facing off against Dylan Cease, who's coming in with a 1-2 record with a 5.76 ERA and 36 strikeouts on the season, Mike. Again, this is a pretty good team coming to town. This is a good Padres team, and I got to be honest, we generally don't play the Padres good. We just don't. They're one of those teams that we always seem to struggle against for whatever reason. But you know what? We're the Pirates. We struggle against everybody, right?
Exactly. And you know, it's just who we are, man. But it really does seem to be the Padres that we struggle against. Padres, the Brewers. More or less, you name every team in the league outside of the Dodgers, we struggle against.
Let me get a couple of these messages in here. 007, what's up, brother? Great seeing you as always. He says that bag over Ryan's head is a major improvement. Well, it was great seeing you always, 007. No, just kidding, of course. Yes, it is a big improvement. John says you're allowed to be critical of Jason Bay, and that's the end of the list.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I can criticize Jason Bay all day long.
And also 007 says, I see the recycle logo on that bag. Maybe they can recycle the Pirates. In all reality, Mike, this is being that the Illuminati was on our minds today. This is, you know how they always have one eye covered?
Yes.
That's my sign here with the one eye being covered. That's my Illuminati.
Ooh.
So you behave. I'll have them come and talk to you, Mike. But as of right now, Pirates 12-20. Month into the season, five months left to go. This just only seems like it could get worse. Again, there's nothing positive that's popping up at all.
No.
You know what? There was a grain of positivity when O'Neill Cruz was hitting home runs and getting stolen bases at a record pace. That was fun, but everything else is falling apart, Mike. And you know what else is falling apart? I want to get this thing off my head. I want to continue to move on talking about other things because the Pittsburgh Pirates, it's making me fall apart talking about them.
Yeah.
But there you go, everybody. Sell the team, Bob.
Sell the team.
See, I got my teardrops here.
Which are just top tier. I love the teardrops.
So there you go. And there you go, 007. There's the ugly wildebeest.
Real quick, can I mention Aroldis Chapman's stats? Even though you took off the back. Okay, Aroldis Chapman, 2-1 as a relief pitcher, a 1.59 ERA. 11 1/3 innings pitched, 17 strikeouts, and only 4 walks. He gave up 7 hits, 2 earned run. He has 4 saves, 1 hold, 0 blown saves. Are you fucking kidding me? We couldn't figure out a way to get this guy on the roster.
There's just some guys. We're a bad team. You know, listen, we talk about our Penguins, we talk about our Steelers, we say, why do we have all these old guys? The Pirates are a team that you bring in old guys like McCutchen and Aroldis Chapman. Hey, listen, if somebody can come in here and do anything, by all means, you grab him.
Mm-hmm. And he's making $10.75 million this year.
Yeah.
Sign me up with that production that you're getting out of him for that. I would take it. I would take that in a heartbeat.
I'm down again because of all this Pirate talk. Mike, let's get into the Steelers.
Fuck yeah, there you go. That's gonna brighten up the mood.
Guys, so I'll wait to the end for that. Guys, so Sebastian Castro, Mike, is that he was the undrafted free agent. Mike, from it was said from the Athletic, a writer from the Athletic said the Steelers' best undrafted free agent signing was in fact Sebastian Castro, the Iowa safety. They say he's real versatile. not quite Troy Polamalu, but better than the average safety in college in a lot of ways because he was versatile. He could do so many things. Um, Mike, is there anybody else from the undrafted free agent list that you liked? And any comments on Sebastian Castro?
Sebastian Castro, he's my favorite free agent signing that we did after the draft. Just because, like you said, he can play corner, or like slot corner and safety. He's probably gonna, like I said a couple shows ago, I think he's gonna push Beanie Bishop for playing time. I don't think Beanie Bishop is in any jeopardy of losing a roster spot. I think Castro can take a roster spot from someone else. I liked his signing. Like I said, people kept showing him being mocked to the Steelers and other teams in like 5th, 6th, 7th round. So to pick him up as an undrafted rookie free agent, I'm excited for. But I think he come in, make some plays, contribute on special teams down the line, be a really good safety in the league. Not like a top starter, but a nice rotational piece. And like it's a passing league now, and you need a lot of DBs. He's going to find his way on the field too, and he seems like a sure tackler too. And they can move him around at, like I said, safety, inside corner. I like him right there, and I also like that big lineman we got from Minnesota Duluth, just because of the athletic ratings that he had. Now, I know that doesn't mean anything. You have to be able to play football to back it up. But he's fitting what the Steelers want. They want big athletic guys on the offensive line. And if he can pan out, I'll take it because, the way we're shifting to a zone blocking scheme, you got to be able to move laterally, not just run straight ahead and pull every once in a while. Every play, you kind of got to be able to move. And I like the guy. I hope he can be a Mason McCormick type player. So yeah, Castro and the guy from Minnesota Duluth, whose name I've already forgotten.
Yeah, and that's the thing. As you said, Mike, we're just at a point where we could certainly use a guy like this that could come out as an undrafted free agent that could, do some things as Beanie Bishop did last year. Beanie Bishop wasn't a draft pick. Beanie Bishop, come in the same exact position, the same exact way that Sebastian Castro came in. So this is the guy, Mike, as I said, he is recognized as the Steelers' best undrafted free agent signing outside of the Pittsburgh media. So that was interesting to me again, Mike. So I'm definitely going to follow Sebastian Castro again out of Iowa, Mike. A big favorite this year for the Steelers in the draft is these Iowa players. Yeah. Which I've always dug them uniforms. Always.
I know, right? They look like a lot of them should just come right over to Pittsburgh.
Mark Malone says, "Why is y'all Black the best name since Dick Shiner?" I mean, is this dude's dad white? It like real life me, myself, and Irene. I like the name. I like it too. Black and Yaya Black. It'll be a lot of fun. Too bad Myron wasn't around to screw up his name. That used to be part of the fun of watching the Steelers and listening to the Steelers.
Oh God,
was how far Myron could be off. Remember Fakir?
When he, yeah.
That was fun.
That was always a struggle for old Myron.
There was a couple of them, but he was certainly right up there. Caleb said, like and sub to the channel, or else I would drive to PA and steal Derpy sandwich gift card. My Jim Palmer poster hasn't eaten since the first Grover Cleveland administration. 007, I hear JJ Galbraith tight end is going to be badass, which is good. But how many good tight ends can we possibly have on the team? And if we do, when are we going to start hitting them more? Exactly. We're going to have 3 tight ends that are good, and nobody's going to throw it to them. So, I'm hearing the same thing. 00. Again, we have an abundance of tight ends. Maybe somehow we could deal somebody off next year to get that pick, Mike, that we're all hoping for. But I do want to go over a quick list I have here, Mike. This is an early potential quarterback prospect for the 2026 draft list here, Mike.
Yeah.
Let me pull it up real quick.
Yep.
And this is the list. I have the list here somewhere, believe me.
Is the list in the room with us now? The Illuminati steal the list.
Yeah. Shut up. I had a list. I don't know where the hell it went. I'll find the. Oh, here it is.
You
All
found
right,
it?
Mike.
All
So
right.
this is your 2026 NFL draft prospects. There's 6 names on this list so far, Mike. Of course, this will grow as time goes. Number 1 right at the top is Arch Manning out of Texas. Texas Arch Manning right at the top of the list. Mike, this one here, I swear to God, I hope he doesn't end up a Steeler because I think it's going to be similar to the Kenny Pickett experience.
Mhm.
Drew Allard, Mike, from Penn
Yeah.
State,
Yeah.
is in the list of the quarterbacks coming out of college next year, more than likely. Drew Allard from Penn State and Arch Manning, first 2 right off the top. Mike, the next guy on the list is the quarterback from LSU, Garrett Nussmeier.
Newsmeyer. Yeah.
He's a quarterback coming out next year as well. These names are going to be, we're going to be talking about them in abundance the beginning of next year, getting ready to head into the draft, and depending on what the hell goes on this season, Mike, what we're going to do next. So let's read some more of these names. Next on the list is quarterback from South Carolina, Lenora Sellers. You know anything about Lenora Sellers, Mike? You had a look on your face like you knew.
Yeah, this cat, man, he can run, he can throw, and I don't know if he's coming out this year. He might stay for another year or two, but my God, this kid has the potential to be a Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson type quarterback
Really?
to beat you with his arms and his legs. Yeah, like you see the potential there, but can his college coaches and can he get himself there? And if he can, he might arguably be the best quarterback so far listed.
And you figure that Joe Burrow, he was from that school and he wasn't too bad.
No, Burrow with the LSU.
That's who I said, LSU, Garrett Newsomer.
Oh no, I was talking about Lenore Sellers.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so Lenore Sellers was everything that you just said.
Yeah, Lenore Sellers.
Out of South Carolina. Mike,
Yeah.
also UCLA, Nico. Now, this guy's name is interesting.
Yeah.
I am Aliva.
I'm a leaver.
I'm Aliva.
I'm going to leave this college. I'm going to leave at this college. I'm going to leave at this pro team.
Nico Amaliva from UCLA, Mike. He is on the list of the NFL 2026 draft quarterback prospects. And finally, the last person on the list is Cade Klubnik from Clemson. So these will certainly be names that you'll hear plenty, of course, heading into the college season and afterwards, getting ready for the draft, Mike. Will the Steelers get one of these quarterbacks? Will they even try? Will they need one of these quarterbacks? Who knows? We never know, Mike. A lot of people, for some reason, just think that Will Howard is going to come along and be the savior.
I know.
And I'm not quite understanding where they're getting that thought process, because it's going to be a process before he even really does get that opportunity. Mike, and especially if they bring in one of these veterans, he automatically falls to the 3 spot. Yep. He's holding a clipboard all year, no chance of playing. As a rookie, sit back, learn. And again, that's going to make it interesting in the next draft, Mike, because you do have a rookie who just sat through the first season, learned, and so again, it's not going to be uninteresting next year come draft time. Being in Pittsburgh, it's going to be quite something, actually.
Caleb, Jesus Christ. But like some of these quarterbacks, like I said, like Lenore Sellers, he might go back to college because he has eligibility. There's talk that Arch Manning might stay in for another 2 years, 3 years maybe. Because since
or he could come out next year. Who knows?
Yeah.
It's all speculation.
Yeah, it's all speculation. Yeah. So, but my God, I hope they all come out so there's a plethora of quarterbacks, and our chances of landing one of these guys who have a high upside with a lot of potential and a lot of talent, we can get our guy. I do hope it's not Drew Aller. Like I like him at Penn State, but my God, some of the decisions that he makes, like, dude, what are you doing? Then he does something that makes you forget about the boneheaded.
Who was the guy that played for the Notre Dame quarterback? Did he get drafted?
Riley Leonard.
Who did he get drafted by? Did he get drafted? He got drafted, right?
I think he did.
He was terrible. Mike, he couldn't listen. If you're in the college playoffs and you literally can't throw the ball, that was what they kept saying was this team, Mike, they just can't throw the ball. You're telling me this team is in the national championship and they can't throw the football?
Yeah, he got drafted by the Colts.
I don't want that guy anywhere near my team. He was terrible.
A guy who can't throw the ball. He lays perfect. He fits in
Let's
with
get a guy that has
Danny.
no foot to kick the, be our kicker, Mike.
This cat fits in with the quarterbacks already in the room in Indy. So yeah, Riley Leonard is.
Oh, he's a nightmare. I remember because I blindly picked Notre Dame as my team, and I thought boy, it was unbelievable that they even made it. When the game they played early, who was against, like Indiana or something? They looked really good and dominant, but once they started playing teams that were anybody, he was awful.
Yeah.
Yinzer Joe says Jim Palmer is probably thin with a flat ass. And then I saw her face. Then I'm gonna leave her. Good post by Caleb. Speaking of singing, does anybody catch themselves singing the Mike Scarlett song in a day at any point? It was about 8:30 last night. I'm just humming the Scarlett song. I thought people got to be just humming this. I couldn't get it out of my head.
Scarlett song's a banger.
Caleb said Riley Leonard got drafted by the Colts. Boy, how do you feel about that, Caleb? Colts are going to run the ball like 1952 next year, and that seems to be about the case because again, I couldn't believe, and again, them literally announcing on the TV that this team can't pass. I thought, what's going on? It's like a baseball team in the World Series that can't hit.
I got to pull up his college stats last year.
Pull up his playoff stats. That's probably the best.
No, let's see here. If it will, didn't have it on the page I was on. So
Mike, do you think that AR12 is coming? Let me give you the statistic or let me give you the poll results at this point, Mike. Yeah. Because there are a few different things picked off here, Mike. 43% right now on the poll. The poll said who will be the Steelers starting quarterback when the season starts this year. 43% of the people did vote for Mason Rudolph, Mike. However, 29% says Rodgers and 29% says Cousins. None going to Howard or other. Realistically, what do you think? What do you think are the chances that again, as of right now, May 2nd, there's no sign of Rodgers. But will this guy will he be under center come September for the Pittsburgh Steelers?
I have a feeling, yes. I'm leading like 75% he's going to be a Steeler, 25% he's going to retire. Just because the way we haven't pounced on any other available veteran quarterbacks. Because they said they were going to go with 4. We didn't sign any, or we did sign some lower tier undrafted rookie free agent or invited them to mini camp or some shit like that. But we didn't get like a guy that would, okay, you can see him competing for a roster spot. So that's why I'm leaning towards that. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers will be here, and then Mason will be number 2, and Will Howard as number 3.
What's up, brother? Good afternoon. To Phil is still on the board. He's saying Mason Rudolph. Him and Mark Malone both, Mike, I know are big in favor of Mason Rudolph. How you doing, Phil? Still nice seeing you as always, my friend. Just real quick here. Don't forget Seymour Wiener died yesterday. I kind of going through the comments here, and somebody who said something about the names. Just somebody had Dick Shiner on one of the things.
Dick Shiner,
and it just hit me that Seymour Wiener from the something to do with the Mets. I don't know what he was or what he did, or maybe he was I don't know, but his name was Seymour Wiener, and he was a loss to the Mets community just over this past week. So great names everywhere, Mike, when it comes to athletes. Let me go to John. Big John Stubb, middle name Mud. Arch will be managed by the whole Manning family. I could see him staying longer in college because he has had a low snap count. Add in getting paid in college now, and there might be no need to leave. You're probably right. Because here's the thing about them. They're smart people. They're just smart. They know the business. They're 3 generations in the league. So you know what is good for Arch is what's gonna happen, I think, for Arch.
Yeah, and
it's going to be because of that family. No two ways about it. They're not going to let him screw up.
No, they're
going
to
Peyton and Uncle. Yeah, come on. Phil still says But the standard will be the standard, and it doesn't matter. Tomlin will kick in the 2020 kick in 2025 will be another 9-8, 10-7, 8-9 season. Into Joe is up, brother. He says there really isn't any urgency to sign or drop any players until the roster cut period, so they can wait forever if they wanted to.
True.
Caleb says I feel bad for the broadcasters that have to say Nick hurts.
Jesus God.
Mm.
Oh my God.
He must have great parents, and you ought to but a pause between the first and last name. Yeah, for sure. Like like loose asshole. My buddy Lou. But still, here's one for you guys. Oh, here it is, Mike. So it kind of started with the Pirates talk, but let me kind of blend this all together now that we're in the Steelers.
Yeah.
So I asked if you thought that Derek Shelton was going to get fired.
Mm-hmm.
Well, just 2 days ago, Mike Sullivan, him and the Penguins decided to split ways after 10 seasons, 2 championships, 9 playoff series wins. Mike, he gets fired. 10 seasons, 2 championships, 9 playoff series wins. Mike Tomlin in 18 seasons, 1 championship, and only 8 playoff wins. So technically, Mike Sullivan's a better coach. But do you think anybody will ever consider him an all-time great coach and give him all the accolades and say all the things that we heard about Tomlin? And I don't think we will. And the question to this, Mike, should the football coach's job at least be thought to be in jeopardy? Because maybe the motivation of saying, you know what, if you don't perform and we don't win, because a lot of people, Mike, they say that he's great. And I'm going to be honest, since 2009, what have we really seen? I think the common answer is going to be like, well, this team never went below 500, which is an accomplishment. What a crazy situation this whole Mike Tomlin thing is because of the way it is. I mean, again, who else has not ever been under 500 in their career? Almost 20 years.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, there's certainly numbers here, Mike, that would have him fired from other organizations if he wasn't if he wasn't Mike Tomlin, correct?
Here in Baltimore might be the only place he'd be able to keep his job, because up until last season, Harbaugh was the same coach, keep choking in the playoffs in the first round. So, yeah, like he should be on the, I don't want to say hot seat, but
16,
on a warm
15
seat.
years since we okay,
yeah.
I'm sorry, good.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Yeah, like he should be on the warm seat at least. At the bare, it should be warm. Doesn't need to be raging hot, because you are keeping the team competitive. We haven't had a losing season. People are still coming to the games, blah blah blah, and the players are saying they buy into it. But those late season collapses, you cannot ignore those. Or like the mid season little slump where you lose 3 games, and then but those 3 games get you into a worse playoff spot. There's little things in there and major things that have to be addressed. But it doesn't look like he is even on the warm seat, because he's involved with the owner and Omar Khan and Weedle in building the team. They're all on the same page now of how they want to build the team. They're all parenting the same line. So that's telling me the seat ain't even lukewarm. It's like there's been a great reset in the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yes. I mean, are Steeler fans okay with mediocrity for the next 10 years? Because here's the thing, Mike, I don't think they're ever going to fire him. I just don't. Are Steeler fans prepared for that? To know that he's probably not going to be going anywhere for a very long time.
The only way I can see him getting fired is if we have like a stacked team, like a completely stacked team, and then it's just a complete collapse. Or we have a string of years of sub 500 football with no signs of getting better, no signs of us getting out of the hole. Like, it's got to be something like that.
what do you go 12 years with a Hall of Fame quarterback, and he got it done really early. But as I said, Mike, nothing ever seems to improve on this Mike Tomlin team. It just doesn't. It's stagnant. It's been stagnant for a long time, and many players have come through, GMs have come through, different things have come through, and the only thing that's
Yeah.
the same is the head coach, and again, he had a Hall of Fame quarterback for a long time. Yes, the last couple of years were rough because he was getting old, but again, 12 years, that's plenty of time, Mike. And again, at one point, he did have arguably the best running back and best wide receiver on that team with the Hall of Fame quarterback. So again, not really anything I wanted to get into today, but just coming off the Mike Sullivan fire or separation from the Penguins the other day. Again, he went 10 seasons, 2 championships with 9 wins in the playoff series wins. Tomlin, 8 more seasons, 1 less championship, and 1 less advancement in the playoffs. But less than 100 hours after getting separated from the Penguins, Mike Sullivan did get a new job. Mike, he is the head coach for the New York Rangers. We knew somebody would take him in a heartbeat, as somebody will take Mike Tomlin in a heartbeat. There's no two ways about it. We know this. The fact of the matter is we just want to win. I don't care what happens. Just win. Find a way. If it takes getting a coach, if it takes this, just do what you got to do because, again, 8 years now since the Steelers have won a playoff game, the longest period of time in Super Bowl history that this has happened to the Steelers. So something's got to give at some point. At some point, something's got to give. Mike, talking a little bit more about the AFC North, the Browns. Check this out. A Browns insider stunned by Cleveland drafting Shedeur Sanders and suggests he could wind up on the practice squad. Mike, any chance Shedeur Sanders ends up on the practice squad? And if he does, boy, isn't that the most Cleveland thing you've ever seen?
It would be the most Cleveland thing you had ever seen, but you got to start figuring out like who's staying and going in that room because you figure Joe Flacco is definitely a lock. Watson's going to be on IR all year just because of like his injury. Okay, so then you got Kenny Pickett, Shedeur, and Dylan Gabriel. One of those bottom 3 have to go on the practice squad if you want to keep all 4. It's going to be interesting to see what the hell happens there. I just don't. I don't. It would be.
Boy, would that make things really interesting? Would it make
But then any team can go and pluck them off,
right?
Are they willing to risk that? Is the owner willing to risk that? Because I think the coach and the GM are, because they did not look too happy when they announced that draft pick. I've never seen that type of like a golf clap reaction to getting someone in the draft. Usually you're pumped, you're excited, you're high-fiving, even if it's in the 7th round. Hey, the sleeper that we thought was going to be here is here. High five. For a 5th round pick, you should be hoping there should be some production. They're sitting there. Yeah, so I can see him landing on the practice squad and a team snagging him.
It's going to be interesting. Whatever happens to him throughout the career, the whole process, Mike, it's always going to be something. And as long as Dion's around, I don't think that it's going to change, Mike. I'm curious. Again, I don't like the Browns, and I'm not necessarily a big fan of Shedeur Sanders, but I am a big fan of the situation, and I will watch this clown show, this circus play out because, Mike, it's the Browns. There's no way that it's not going to be a circus. So I agree on that there, guys. Let me check on the board. Board still looks right around the same, Mike. It is right around the 43% for Rudolph, 29 and 29 for Cousins and Rodgers. I sure hope we don't get no Kirk Cousins. That's one name that just scares the hell out of me. If Kirk Cousins plays here this year. But again, Mike, on the other hand, I mean, he doesn't have a record with winning a lot, but he still puts up a lot of passing yards. And is there a way that a receiving core like George Pickens and DK Metcalf can translate that into wins, if that be the case?
I just don't want Kirk Cousins anywhere near here. He is beat up. He's beat up his whole body. I don't want him anywhere near Pittsburgh. I don't even think with those guys he can do anything. The mobility with that Achilles injury, how much power can he get off on planting and throwing with that injury? It didn't look like he did a whole hell of a lot in Atlanta. I don't want him anywhere near Pittsburgh. Ugh.
Yeah, I don't either. I just Mike and the guy, he's not young anymore either. He's been in the league for forever. It feels like. Yeah. I just don't feel like we would improve. with Kirk
No,
Cousins,
no.
and especially behind a line that needs somebody that's going to be able to be mobile back there.
He was sacked 28 times last year, and here that could potentially be a whole hell of a lot higher. Yeah, he did complete almost 67% of his passes, 3,500 yards, but he had 18 touchdowns to 16 interceptions. And no, thank you.
Yeah.
That's no. If that was like 24 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, okay, then we'll talk. But no.
Let's check out this on the board, Mike. See if I could find it. Okay, right here. John says regular season wins are getting the best position possible in the playoffs, nothing else. P says since 1969, they've had 3 head coaches. The owners believe in stability, obviously. You're right, they have less coaches. There's more popes in my life than Steelers coaches. Once the new pope gets picked, there'll be more popes. So there's no two ways about that. You're right, P. Good afternoon to you as well, sir. Sorry. Mark Malone says, I still maintain that a drunken street bum could have gone over 500. Again, there's a lot of question about Tomlin's career. At the end of the career, it's going to be interesting to just look at it all and see how it played out. And again, I just wonder if this team will ever improve. It's been in a stagnant 500 type team for quite some time that has not won a playoff game in almost a decade. So, and yeah, he's passed away a Hall of Fame quarterback's career, or pissed away. I'm sorry. Mark Malone says Peyton only got one win, one in Indy, and could barely throw for that Denver one. That Seattle defense really brought it, though. In that Denver-Seattle Super Bowl.
Oh,
you got to give it to that Seattle defense. It was like a safety the first play of the game,
dude,
or something.
That was one of my most enjoyable Super Bowls, watching Peyton Manning get humiliated and pissed down his leg every single throw in that game. It was great.
And just as a tomato is round, so is a potato, but both have a different color and texture. Doesn't mean that they are the same. Each is prepared differently. So, no two ways about it. I just wanted to throw that out there because, again, Sullivan left the Penguins just yesterday, and Derek Shelton should be gone from the Pirates. So I was just kind of bringing it all together with Tallman because I know that's a debate topic, and a lot of people feel strongly one way or another about that. Mark Malone, but yeah, they had an actual NFL coach. P also goes on to say they had Edgerrin James and Reggie Wayne, a prime Manning, and an on the money kicker. NFL coach, one Super Bowl. Who did they have? Vinatieri.
Yeah.
It was Vanderjack early, and they did a switcheroo. And
they got Vanderjack. Yeah.
Mark Malone, but Manning couldn't throw in Denver. Had an NFL coach though. P says that Denver defense was ridiculous. Manning never really came back from that neck surgery. Mark Malone says, sure, that must have been it. We never had the literal number one defense. Tomlin is a POS man. It's okay to admit it? Mark Malone says. And then also, John says, Tomlin has to find a quarterback and develop him. I don't see it. Like I said, some of those things that good coaches do, I want to start seeing being done. The 500 thing's fun and everything, but what is it getting us, actually? Joe, I think we're being a little unfair to Tomlin. I mean, he went through a lot of roster losses. Ben, Shazier, Tuitt, Pouncey. Absolutely. Just like every other team.
And then like AB not showing up for playoff games, Bell not showing up for playoff games.
Didn't AB go off to Tampa Bay and not show up and they won a Super Bowl? Or I mean, every team has problems is what I'm trying to say. And we're no different. 32 teams, you have to find a way to weather the storm. And it's been 8 years since a playoff win. Again, not quite sure what to, everybody has their opinion.
He's not going anywhere.
Nobody said he's going anywhere.
He's not going to go anywhere. So,
but that's not the point. But the point being, Mike, would you like to see his coaching improve? Would you like to see things actually, developmental things happen with players that you don't see now? Just the little things that makes a coach a great coach. He's doing great things. He's over 500, which is fantastic. But what could Mike Tomlin what could he do to become a great coach? The coach that he's going to walk off the field being known as at the end of his career.
More Super Bowl.
One more Super Bowl will lock him in as a great coach no matter what?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if 3 losing seasons and 1 Super Bowl makes Cowher a great coach,
I don't care about
think
Cowher. I'm talking about
I
Tomlin.
think I'm putting it within historical
Well,
context.
that's not. It's listen. Chuck Noll did amazing. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No,
I was being rude. I was being rude. Sorry.
it's okay. It's okay. No, we just got to put it in context. It's usually when you win a Super Bowl, never had a losing record, people say, "Yeah, you're a great coach," but hey, there's this on here too that could have been better.
Yeah. Good morning to Richard. Richard on the board. Always great seeing you, my friend. Welcome to the Friday installment of the Two Dumb Yinzers. But he pissed away nearly all the Ben's career. That's what I'm saying. What's he going to need? Is he going to need another Hall of Fame quarterback to win a Super Bowl? Is he going to need the best receiver and the best?
That's what
I mean. Those are things that certainly go a long way, and we lost. So what is it going to be to get back to the Super Bowl? I mean, if we couldn't get it done in those situations, what is it going to take for this team to get back? And is it even something that we can, like, again, this is also going to play out into the next 2 years with all the talk of the quarterbacks, and you're not going to know what this draft's going to bring and what these players are going to be for 3 years. So that puts us right around the 10-year mark for not winning a playoff game, providing they don't win one. So again, any way you slice it, is there any Hall of Fame, any great coaches in any league that hasn't won a playoff game in a decade?
Up until last year, Tomlin and Harbaugh.
But that's what I'm saying. He hasn't been to. No, what I'm saying is he hasn't lost a decade's worth of playoff games yet. What I'm saying is he's going to be considered a great coach, like everyone's saying, one of the best in the league. Everybody loves to play for Tomlin. This is what you hear. What's it going to take, Mike? Because again, 2 more seasons without a playoff win puts this great coach at 10 straight seasons without a playoff win.
Like I said, another Super Bowl.
Absolutely. I mean, that's a no-brainer. Yeah. But what do they got to do? How is this team going to get back to the Super Bowl? That's the $1 million question.
Yeah, it is.
He's got to figure that shit out, man. You think Andy Reid sits around on his hands for 10 years while his teams don't win a playoff game? This is what good coaches do. They figure this kind of stuff out. Mike, 10 years is a long time in sports.
Yeah, Andy Reid got hated, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time.
Mike, every team he ever played for, he took the Philadelphia Eagles to 4 straight NFC championships. He took the, say what you want about
it. Came up goose eggs.
It doesn't,
Mike, goose eggs. It was considered a bust.
Mike, stop what I'm listen.
He was a failure.
This guy went to 4 straight championship games, and we're comparing him to a guy that could possibly go 10 years without a playoff win. You can't make that comparison. So then the guy. No, you can't, because Mike, the one guy is not going to win a playoff game in 10 years, if you're understanding what I'm saying. So he has the success in Philadelphia. He wins a lot of football games. Then he goes to Kansas City, where he might have had a situation like Tomlin and shit out for the next 10 years. That's not the case. He goes to the next town and wins more Super Bowls and wins Super Bowls, many of them. So what I'm saying, this guy has never not been successful, where Tomlin, you could argue and say there was going to be 10 years. If it goes 10 years, and it hasn't happened yet, I'm just making but this guy could go 10 years without winning a playoff game. That's not great to me. That's not great coaching to me.
Could and have are 2 different things. He has.
No, you're right. That's what I'm talking, Mike. I'm talking about. Listen. Yes, you're exactly right. But you're not listening to what I'm saying. Because what I'm saying is this: if in fact they don't win a playoff game in 2 years, this is going to be one of the greatest coaches, because he has this record and nobody's ever done, and he's going to go to the Hall of Fame. But he could possibly go 10 years without winning a playoff game. And yes, he could, should, would, whatever. But Mike, if that in fact happens, is he even considered a great coach if you can't win a playoff game in a decade's time?
If it happens, I'll have that conversation.
Well, this is what the talk show is, Mike. You talk about these things.
Yeah. I know, but you spit out a bunch of in there, and I'm trying to track the entire conversation. Okay. That's all I'm saying. Like you come up with a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
and then just
all right. Well, don't explain to me what I do. Just tell me what your answer is.
No. You said a lot of stuff and trying.
All right. Well, I got to get to the board, and if you're not
going, and then I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
You don't got to grade me. Just tell me what you think.
I think you're beautiful.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. So on the board, Mike, we have John says Tomlin needs to hire an innovative AC and stop micromanaging the team. It is 2025, not 2005. I couldn't agree more. I think assistant coaching is part of the problem. I think we have inferior assistant coaching year after year after year. Certainly, it's some of the positions. P. Morton says Carolina was turning into the artist formerly known as Detroit for a while now. Mark Malone, he could just be he could just quit talking colossal anal reamings in the playoffs. That would be great. I know. Even if he would stay in the ball game in the playoffs, it wouldn't be so bad. I mean, we're getting annihilated when we do make the playoffs. I can agree with that, John. That's what P's saying on the board. Richard says Tomlin needs to put better coaching. I agree, in place, and then trust their decisions during the game, because I never seen a coach get out coached during a game more than Tomlin. John says no rookie QB has ever won the Super Bowl. We were looking at a 2027 beyond that with luck. Also, Yinzer Justice, I think there were some extenuating factors, not always on Tomlin, maybe some calls, but again, it's a collective period of time thing. How has his career looked to you? But he did lose Bell, AB, Pouncey. How do you keep it going with a bad OC and no players? And that's what I'm saying. Look at the OCs they go with. Who are these guys? Matt Canada? They could have thought that was going to go well. Joe, they couldn't even block. He says, speaking of luck, Indy chewed that kid up and spit him out. Mark Malone, LOL, dumbass Tomlin just needs to be removed from coaching the team altogether, like he was when Arians and LeBeau were there. Mark Malone says he can just shuck and jive during press conferences to sell merch to the brain dead masses like Rooney hired him for. So some interesting takes on the board.
Wow, man.
Guys.
White hood fits, man.
No, we're not doing that, Mike. You can't keep doing that. That's not fair.
I'm just calling out what I see.
It's not what you see. It's you're assuming.
Oh yeah.
Because he doesn't like the guy. Come on, you've already on, Mike.
Just saying.
It's wrong.
Huh?
People can say things about you because of the things that you say, and
it
wouldn't be right. I just think it's unfair, Mike. Who was this North Turner? What's up? Give me your argument. I want to hear it. Come on, people deserve to know.
No. When someone like it says, let's see, he wasn't coaching when Arians and LeBeau was there. When he was just hired to shuck and jive. Okay,
which again he does. He gets up there and he talks
about that.
Mike,
that tells me
this is what he's talking about. When he gets up there and he talks this bullshit that nobody believes anymore. This is what I took.
He could have just said, I just talk or just have him.
You got to quit doing this
and spew bullshit. I see.
Because every time you,
No.
So you want to keep scaring people away and not have them listen to your show? That's a stupid.
No.
Mike,
I want to invite people into a welcoming environment.
It is a welcoming environment. You need to stop.
No.
Yes, it's got to stop, Mike. You can't.
No, it does not need to stop.
It is going to stop, and you can't continue to do that.
I can do what I want.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
You're not my boss.
Yes, I am.
No. Oh, the fuck you are?
Yes, I am.
Bye. Stream over. Goodbye, everyone.
Go ahead and turn that fucking thing off, Mike. That's all I got to say.
Do it, Mitch. Do it. What are you going to do?
Stop.
See?
Turn it off.
What the fuck is your problem? No, don't turn shit off. Don't touch it.
Stop.
Allie, don't touch it. I'm telling you. This is a stop.
Turn it off. Turn it
Stop.
off. I'm going upstairs too. I'm not playing.
So what's your problem? What's your problem with Mark Malone? Mike.
Well, I don't like people who use shuck and jive when they talk about a black guy talking.
Mike, I talked about a Jew yesterday getting signed by the Pirates. What's the difference? You say it wasn't wrong. What does shuck and jive mean? What's the matter with that?
Turn it off.
Shuck and jive. Really? You don't know the context behind that?
I need to understand what that means. Mike, I need stop. Get away from me.
Turn it off.
Get away.
We're not doing this.
Mike, please tell me what that means.
No, I'm done.
Like, you don't know what that means?
No, I'm done with everything.
Because you can't answer the question.
No, I'm done with everything.
What is your problem? Answer the question.
No, I'm 100% done with all of this.
No, you're not. Listen.
Yes,
Mike,
I am.
Just tell me what you mean by the shuck and the jive. What is it? I don't get it. Mike.
If you disconnect the internet now.
This is the most pussy shit I've ever seen in my life, dude. Some fucking pussy shit. Well, I'm going to continue to talk sports here, guys. As you see, and you can tell what's going on with your own eyes, I don't know what this shucking and jiving and what his problem with Mark Malone is, but I do know that Mark's saying that he's not a skinhead. I do know that Mike Tomlin has not been winning any playoff games, which is what we were talking about. And I do know that it's been a very long time, and it could be up to 10 years here in another season and a half if we don't get a win. And for some reason, Mark Malone gave his opinion, and Mike streamed off. I don't get what that is. Um, I didn't. I didn't think that it was a racist remark. No, you're good, Mark. I don't. I just don't get it. I don't get why he's why he's doing that. But I will continue. Let's see. I'll come on the show anytime. No need to explain, Mark. But do let me explain, or let me move along here because we also got more football this weekend. If you are in the mood to watch some gridiron action tonight, get ready for the UFL. They'll be kicking off. Steeler Lee. Steeler Lee says there is a racist undertone to saying a black man is shucking and jiving. Well, what do you understand? What? All right. Let me continue. The UFL guys, they start tonight. Arlington at St. Louis. That's at 8:00 p.m. That starts off week 6 in the UFL. Tomorrow, there's a game also between Memphis. That game is Memphis at Houston. And then Sunday, there's 2 games. DC versus Michigan. That game is at 12:00 noon on Sunday. And San Antonio versus Birmingham at 4:00 p.m. on Sunday. So you do get an opportunity to watch some physical regular football, guys. So all through the weekend, starting today through Sunday, 2 games on Sunday. Catch the UFL week 6. Also, that other football team from Pittsburgh, the Pittsburgh Riverhounds soccer team, they'll be hosting the North Carolina soccer team Saturday. That game's at 7:00. Get down to Highmark Stadium and check out the Riverhounds as they're trying to get back on track in this season, guys. And finally, who else? There was somebody else that had something going on this weekend. Oh, the Penguins, guys. Marc-Andre Fleury. Marc-Andre Fleury, he retires after 21 seasons. Marc-Andre Fleury, he retired after last night. He won 3 cups. He has 575 wins in 1,051 games. So congratulations to retirement to Marc-Andre Fleury. He was a guy that at the beginning of his career, I wasn't sure what we had. He was coming out. He was supposed to be great. He made a lot of dumb errors early on in his career, but he did go on to have a great career. Congratulations to the Hall of Famer. No two ways about it. Marc-Andre Fleury. He is now retired. In my opinion, he should have retired a Penguin, but things don't always work out that way. Congratulations to Fleury. Again, 21 seasons, 3 Stanley Cups, 575 wins in 1,051 games, and many other records as well that you could go on to talk about. His shutouts and his shutout wins. I think he's the leader in, and so many other things, guys. Such a great goalie and such a great guy as well. So again, that's awesome for Mr. Marc-Andre Fleury. And finally, the Pittsburgh Passion. The Passion, they're off this week. That's the gals here, are ladies in the gridiron. They have this week off, and then they'll be traveling next week to Philadelphia to play the second game of their season next week. So catch them next week. We'll talk more about it between now and then. Let me catch up to some of the messages on the board. Steeler Lee says, and I do want to say welcome, Steeler Lee, basically saying he's a yes man for Rooney. You know what? Listen, every company has yes men. And you know what? Because he's black, you can't talk about your displeasure of his job. It's bullshit. There's coaches everywhere, and there's coaches people like, there's coaches people don't like. But because Mike Tomlin's a black guy, you can't talk about your displeasure, and that's bullshit. I don't like that. I don't like the fact that we've gone 8 seasons without winning a playoff game. Has nothing to do with him being a black guy, but somebody's going to turn around and say, well, you don't like him because he's a black guy. It's bullshit. That's not the case at all. I've been a Steeler fan for almost 40 years. There was people that I liked that came and gone. There's people that I hated that came and gone. And I could be 100%. It's not because of their race. Mark Malone, it didn't used to have racist undertones. Black people are the ones that said it the most. Ask me how I know. Listen, guys. So you can't. If you would have said shuck and jive for a white guy, like I said, I'm not seeing the problem, but maybe I'm naive. Maybe I'm missing it. Yinder Joe says, I think we as fans are in a lose-lose situation with Tomlin because he has a winning percentage. How can any team justify? This is what I'm saying. This is my argument. What Yinder Joe is saying. Because he has a winning percentage, how could a team justify firing him even if he doesn't win a playoff game? After all, he's won a Super Bowl. So, I mean, that's always going to be the argument. And when people get upset because we're not winning, they want him fired. Maybe because they're angry, they're going to turn and say, well, you're a racist because you don't want him here. I want to win football. I want to win Super Bowls. That's all. I don't care if the guy's Chinese. I'm going to be honest with you. You bring over the Saudi prince to be the coach. If he lands us in the Super Bowl, that's all I care about. Joe also says, and what if they fire him and he goes and wins the Super Bowl with another team? And that is a what if. I mean, you get me sometimes on that, Yinzer Joe. I mean, a what if, but it's a possibility. Let me go and tell you a little bit about the website. Everybody, do go check out the website. Mike does a lot of things over there. There's blogs, merchandise store, a lot of great stuff over our website. Go check it out, www.the2dumbyinzers.com. That's www.the2dumbyinzers.com. All right, guys, we're gonna run a trivia today. So if you guys on the board feel like participating, give me your answers, guys. Here we go. The question of the day: which Steelers have the most 100-yard rushing games in a season? Which Pittsburgh Steeler has the most 100-yard rushing games in a season? That's the question of the day. Take a minute to think that over. Put your answers on the board. We'll see how we do. We are live. We're live 5 days a week right here, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every day right here on YouTube. Question of the day, guys. Which Steeler has the most 100-yard games rushing in a season? I'm looking for a player, a running back for the Steelers who has the most 100-yard rushing games in a season. P says, how about that Luigi Mangione trial? Well, I mean, they got the dude on fire on camera shooting a guy. I think that this should be cut and dry, right? Shot him in the back and killed him. P says, Le'Veon Bell. That's his pick. Again, which Steeler has the most 100-yard games rushing in a season? Le'Veon Bell up there. Bam Morris. Richard Jankowski says Bam Morris. Interesting pick. But there's one Steeler that has more 100-yard rushing seasons than any other Pittsburgh Steeler running back out there. Was it Franco? Was it Bettis? Was it Bam Morris? Maybe Le'Veon Bell. Famous Amos Zaraway. Tim Worley. Merrill Hodge. Eric Pegram. Rashard Mendenhall. Many running backs to choose from, guys. Again, question of the day: which Steeler has the most 100-yard games rushing in a season? The correct answer is in 1992. Barry Foster did it 12 times. Yes, Yinzer Joe, you just got into the last minute. Barry Foster 12 times in 1992. I remember it like it was yesterday. It was Cowers. It was either Cowers' rookie year or second year. But a lot of fun. Barry Foster. I thought, who's ever going to stop this guy? And then within a season, he disappears into thin air and goes to Carolina, and you never hear from him again. But Barry Foster, guys, is the correct answer. He did it 12 times in 1992. He leads the Steelers with most 100-yard games in a season. Bananas Foster, as Myron Cope used to call him back in the day. A few other things before we do get ready to wrap it up for today, guys. Right here is on Monday, the Pittsburgh Marathon. Everybody, the Pittsburgh Marathon. A lot of people going to be participating. It's all I'm seeing in my feed right here in town is this big Pittsburgh Marathon. That's coming on Monday, along with Cinco de Mayo. So a lot of excitement for Monday. Hopefully Mike can calm down by then. We'll get him back on the show. Talking about our sports, of course, moving forward. I do want to say, guys, I do want to say thank you so much for coming and hanging out and checking us out today. We appreciate each and every one of you. We wouldn't do it without you. Thank you so much. Everybody on the board, you guys always keep things interesting. I want to say thank you to everybody at home, maybe in the car, maybe the gym. Thank you so much as well. You guys are great. Looking at the board for the final results, guys, of the poll today. The poll was, who will be the Steelers quarterback when the season starts? And it breaks down like this. Mason Rudolph gets the nod from the viewers today with 54%. 54% of the people that voted did vote Mason Rudolph as the starter for next season. Number 2 with 27. Let me get right back to you there, Wild Herb Ways. Number 20 with 27%, Aaron Rodgers, they're saying. So Rudolph, they're picking to be 24% is 54 predicting him to be the starting quarterback. 27% is picking Rodgers. 18% is actually picking Kirk Cousins, and 0% for Howard and other. Let's see. Two Dumb Yinzers is a pathetic anti-white slur like cracker, dumb blonde, or racist. Only a white person can be racist. Dumb blonde, cracker, or dumb Yinzer. I don't get what you're saying, Water Ways. I don't. Would you? So, I just don't understand what you're saying. Two Dumb Yinzers is a pathetic anti-white slur like cracker. You know what? Here's the thing. If you don't call me a cracker, you can say cracker as much as you want. I don't care what you say. I don't care what somebody says. As long as it's not a personal shot at somebody, right? I have no problem with dumb blonde or cracker. And again, dumb Yinzer, shouldn't that be derogatory? But again, Wild Herb, please, it really try to put it more clearly, because I'm not understanding if you're saying that we're racist. I'm just not seeing what you're saying. And I do apologize about that. But we only got about 2 minutes in the show. So if you do want to get it up there, I'm more than happy to address your comment, and anybody else as well, please. I don't know. Again, I just, I didn't want the racism topic to even, I didn't think that he was being, by saying shucking and jiving. I don't know. Is that racist? I don't know. So again, if anybody wants to chime in, I'm still trying to figure it out. So Wild Herb Ways, I do want to say thank you and welcome to the show as well for your comment. Mike, did you catch the trivia?
Yes, I did.
Did you know the answer?
I did not. I was going to say Franco Harris.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a good pick.
Yeah. When in doubt, go with Franco when it comes to a running back.
Ryan, we are talking putting sports and putting down a coach that we have has enough of, doesn't have to do with racism. Time to move. And listen, I want to say this. I agree that of course there's going to be people that are racists everywhere, in white communities, black communities, Hispanic communities, everywhere. And if somebody dislikes somebody because they're race, that has nothing to do with me. And what I think has nothing to do with them. Pieces honestly hadn't heard Yinzer until the show. Haven't even looked at it. And that's what I don't understand what Wild Herb Ways is saying. The Two Dumb Yinzers is a pathetic anti-white slur. That's stupid and wrong. That's not what that means at all. Yinzer, it's a combining of words. Yinzer gonna go to the game tomorrow, right? Yinzer gonna go to the store, right? Field of Steel and P. Yinzer coming up to the Steeler game. Yinzer driving downtown together. You hear that's Yinzer. That's what that's from. It's a combination of words where people say y'all, we're Yins. So again, Wild Herb Ways, please. I do want to address. I'd like to understand more what you're saying, because again, if I'm accused of something, I'd like to defend myself. And again, I don't understand how Two Dumb Yinzers is like cracker and dumb blonde or racist. I think that's actually a pretty crazy take. So please try to make it clear, and I'll try to do my best to address it. Mark Malone, if y'all knew me in real life, you would see that I'm not a racist. It's hard. I mean, come on, what does being a racist mean, guys? Hating somebody because of the color of their skin. I haven't seen anybody that hated anybody because of the color of their skin. I know people that don't like a coach. I know people that so I mean that's always the easy route to go to, is saying somebody is something. But Mark Malone, I hate Rooney more than Tomlin, for what it's worth. Me too. What about all the white people I hate? But you're still a racist? That's what I'm saying, guys. Come on. With that being said, though, guys, let me make sure I don't have any other things here. The Pittsburgh Pirates, again, back at it tonight. They do start a series tonight with the Padres at home. Passion or off, they'll be back at it next week. UFL tonight, all through the weekend, guys. 4 games all through the weekend. And then, of course, the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, they are hosting North Carolina tomorrow at Highmark Field. You know what? I do too. Martin Malone says, I hate everybody equally. That's the best way. As long as you hate everybody equally, you're going to be all right. Richard said, I hope you guys have a great weekend. Glad you're back, Mike. Don't forget the Derpy tomorrow. Sovereignty is my pick. And I can't wait to talk to Derpy too, because I got to talk to him about these draft picks, guys. He's been dragging his feet, and it's going to be no longer interesting to talk about his draft picks from Ohio State if he doesn't get his ass here. But I'll get on him over the weekend. Maybe hopefully get him back on Monday, guys. But Mike, anything before we do get ready to wrap it up for the day?
Go Steelers.
Go Steelers. Mike had his lunch break off the air today while on the air. He had a whole thing going on. But have a great weekend, everybody. I do want to say thank you so much again. Thanks for joining us. Hope you had a great show. And again, I'm trying to drag my feet here, because I'm hoping that commenter comments again. I just don't understand what it was being said, and I would like an opportunity to address that. Phyllis still says, the Watt hater, and I went at it weekly. No hard feelings. Cheers. You too, my friend. Great seeing you lately, Phyllis Steele. Great seeing everybody on the board. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. For Mike in the Steeler Central Mobile Studio, myself, the Two Dumb Yinzers, everybody have a great, safe weekend. I don't know what the storms are like in your area, but it's supposed to be coming back here. Stay safe, everybody. Mike had hungry anger. That I accept. We'll see you guys right here first thing Monday morning. Hopefully everybody will be in a better mood. That'd be fantastic. But have a great weekend, everybody. Stay safe, and we'll see you on Monday. Bye-bye.